flags in a relationship. Oftentimes we hear of the word red flag. Oh, that's a red flag, especially people on Twitter, now known as X. They always have something to say about somebody's behavior in a relationship. The online in-laws are there and everybody has one thing or the other to say about it. But really, what are these red flags? Hi Saints, my name is Marianna Ushi and this is Catholic Faith Forum. Now you can see that today I'm using my hands a lot. I've dropped my card because we're about to have, a very freestyle kind of episode. Yeah. So I'm here with awesome people that you know, but you get to meet after this break. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about something very important, and that is red flags. Just like every relationship where there are red flags, and this also applies to your Christian relationship with God. Some of these red flags we have to avoid are sins, and some of these sins include greed, malice, lust. Things we can do to bring us back to Christ are confession, attending mass, and praying. Remember, it's a journey. God loves you.
Welcome back, Saints. This is Catholic Faith Forum, and our topic today is red flags in serious relationships. I have with me my lovely CFF ladies to have this conversation. How are you, ladies?
Hi, Marianne. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm fine.
Hi, Marianne. Hi,
Marianna.
Evelyn.
Hi, Marianna.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing great.
You're
Yeah.
all looking beautiful. You're both looking
yeah.
beautiful.
You're not out of it too.
It's the glory of the glory of the Lord. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
So how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. Yeah, tough, but I'm pushing through. Yeah.
Push.
Eventful, productive, all encompassing. It's just good. Yeah.
Well, my week has been good as well. Work, that's productive, and well, not so much fun, but just
Fun is
mostly work.
coming. Fun is coming.
Fun is coming, hopefully.
Yeah. This is the
Okay.
beginning. Sorry, this is the beginning of a new month, so definitely something is dropping into the account. One way or the other, you spoil yourself this week. I thought I was going to. Okay, sorry. Let me. I wanted to say I'll send you my account number, but sorry.
Okay, well, our topic for today is red flags. So, let's start from the basics so that we know that people who are listening or watching actually understand what it is that we're talking about. So, in your opinion, or in your own words, what are red flags?
Flags that are red.
Hey, that means you're talking about flags like France's flag, flag of
I was
France,
waiting for that rest.
Sweden, the rest of them.
But really,
Okay, red flags. For me, it means indicators that, this relationship is going to be, it's going to pose a danger for me. You understand? Maybe in the possible future and stuff like that. So I see it as, they indicate something. It's a sign towards something bigger, something that might just harm me. Yeah, that's what I think red flags are.
Okay, so we very well know when we see or when we say the color red, red most times signifies danger.
Yeah.
So it is that blinking light, or not really a light, but that's, will I say, invisible light that is shining in your face when you are trying to, probably start something with somebody.
Yes.
Those things, those indicators, as she said, that point out that, okay, this particular thing, will you be able to deal with it? This particular thing might actually pose a threat to your peace, to your sanity, and to your own personal peace when you're in this relationship. Now, we know a lot of us used to have strong head. Those red lights will be, they'll be shining in your face, but you will just be dimming it and dimming it. But that's talk for another day.
That's why when she said light, I was like, sometimes this light thing, so people just ignore. It's just like when you're speeding on the road and you see 40 kilometers, all this.
People they read on
Who they read them?
But don't let Lasma catch you.
Well, yeah, I agree with both of you. They are actually, those warning signs that something in the relationship is not good for you. And so funny enough, when I was even going through, when I was researching for this topic, I saw that they actually think there's something called yellow flags. So now, at the beginning, I mentioned Twitter family that would say everything is a red flag and all of that. But there are actually yellow flags that are like, okay, let's use the traffic light now. Yellow is what?
Yeah,
Get ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost there.
So it's
yeah.
like you're almost there, but you're not on red yet.
Yes.
So yellow flags are those signs that can actually be worked on. They're not as dangerous as red flags. So for me, red flags are those warning signs that are very dangerous to your personal health or well-being. You understand? But definitely every relationship has its ups and downs. You're definitely going to disagree with your partner at each time.
Definitely.
But it is now what you do in those disagreements that would determine if this person is showing me a red flag or
we
yellow
can manage
flag
it,
that can be worked on.
Are you saying that the yellow flags are like those type of indicators, ones that we can manage or we can tolerate?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not really.
They are those that your partner can easily change.
Okay, can work on.
Yeah, the yellow
work
flags
on.
will come.
Yes, but
And they can
red
be
flags
compromised
are, exactly
sometimes.
that kind of thing.
Okay.
So let's talk about some warning red flags that you probably have noticed in relationships or exists out there.
Okay, so number one on every woman's list is violence.
True,
I feel that is number one. When you realize that probably an intending partner or a partner tends to be violent when angry, or probably gets angry very easily, and then that anger escalates.
True.
It is a very, very big warning sign. But we know most times some people still feel like, oh, he will change.
And
I would change him
because
I would
for
change
me,
him.
I feel like violence is a no-no.
It's a no-no,
Don't even hit
totally.
me once,
No, at
because
all.
I might just run away. I don't know what is leading you
Yeah.
underneath, because for you to be able to raise your hand on your partner, that's male or female, it means that you
it goes
have
both
anger
ways.
management problems.
Yes.
You don't know when to stop, and
And at that
don't do
point,
that.
it's either you leave or you live in a body bag. Another thing could be when it comes to relationship, we have infidelity. Some people feel like, okay, they can compromise in that aspect, but there are individual differences to it. I may compromise, you may not compromise, she may compromise, you get those kind of things. It's not proper to actually be an infidel, but some people feel like, it's
I know some people actually compromise, especially when they feel indebted to the people they are in relationship with.
That's another thing. What else can we say? Okay, are red flags.
I think if your partner is somebody who makes you feel, who makes your self-esteem, reduced, like who gives you low self-esteem. There are certain people that just don't know how to talk to people, and I think this one can even happen maybe if your partner is really, really providing your needs and all of that, and then they start talking. That's the term, Abi. So that's a red flag for me.
And most times
there should be mutual respect in every relationship.
Most times with that point you just raised, gaslighting comes in. When you have a concern and you want to voice it out. Most times, if you are in that position where the person is actually helping you, you feel the need to suppress your feelings. You feel the need to suppress what you want to say.
That's no good.
But then, when you now decide to voice it out, the person begins to gaslight you, making you feel like you are the offender. You are the one that did this. These are because you will be emotionally traumatized. You will feel like, am I enough? Am I even able to leave this relationship and be stable? Because you've put yourself in a very
mental emotional abuse.
But
anyway, thank you very much. Let's pause. We're coming back to continue on the different types of red flags. It's time for us to find out who our saint of the week is.
Our saint of the week is St. Leo the Great. St. Leo the Great, also known as Pope St. Leo I, was born into a Roman aristocratic family. His response to the call of the Lord transformed him into one of the greatest popes of Christian history. In fact, he was the first pope to be given the title the Great. Details pertaining to Leo's place of birth are not known, but it is believed his ancestors came from Tuscany. St. Leo the Great became a very well-known deacon of the church by 431, serving the church under the pontificate of Pope Celestine I. Leo was widely respected for his love for the Lord, intelligent and persuasive nature. He was also gifted in bringing reconciliation between disputing groups of Christians. That is why he was often sent out to settle disputes, both secular and theological. Following the pontificate of Pope Celestine, the next pope was Pope Sixtus III. Pope Sixtus III passed away while Leo was visiting Gaul at the request of Emperor Valentinian III. His task was to bring peace between one of Gaul's chief military commanders and the chief magistrate. Leo was then unanimously elected as the next pope to succeed Pope Sixtus III in 440. His swift election reflected the respect he had garnered among the people from his service to the Lord and the affection the faithful had for this pastoral and wise servant of the Lord. Pope Leo was deeply dedicated to his service as pope. He saw himself as privileged to sit in the chair of St. Peter as the servant of the servants of God. He worked diligently as Peter's successor. Over time, Leo became known as one of the best administrative popes of the ancient church, but he was so much more. During his reign, he tirelessly fought to preserve the unity of the church and its faith, and to ensure the safety of his people among invasions from armies which sought to destroy the church and the Christian influence on culture which he brought to bear. Pope Leo I focused his pontificate on 4 main areas. He continuously worked to oppose and root out numerous heresies which were threatening the Western Church. Among them were Pelagianism, which involved denying original sin and failing to understand the necessity of God's grace for salvation. At the foundation of the Pelagian error was the mistaken notion that we can perfect ourselves without God's grace and assistance. The other major heresy threatening the church was Manichaeism. This heresy denied the goodness of the human body, creation, and even matter itself. It failed to understand the full implications of the incarnation of Jesus Christ. In fact, it denigrated the human body. In short, it viewed everything material as evil. That denies the very teaching of the Hebrew Scriptures and the New Testament. It also rejects the very heart of the gospel message. Pope Leo I was a great defender of the orthodox teaching of the Catholic Christian Church and protected the full deposit of faith. The whole church is still indebted to him for this. During this same period, some Eastern Christians began questioning the teachings of the church concerning the relationship between Jesus' humanity and his divinity, and how to articulate this mystery of the Christian faith. In response, Leo resolved the doctrinal controversy with a letter setting down the church's official teaching on Jesus Christ as one person with a human and a divine nature, which could not be separated. This profound and theological astute letter reconciled the disputing parties. It preserved the core teaching concerning Jesus Christ. Finally, it affirmed the fullness of what occurred in the Incarnation, as well as its implications for all men and women who are baptized into Jesus Christ. To this day, Leo's letter is heralded and praised not only for bringing peace, but for preserving the fullness of Christian truth and doctrine. It helped the whole church enter more fully into the heart of the gospel message, of which Jesus is, and who we can become in him as we cooperate with grace. Along with his dynamic faith and outstanding theological wisdom, Pope Leo I was also courageous. He led Rome's defense against Attila the Hun's barbarian invasion on Italy in 452 by taking on the role of peacemaker. Pope St. Leo focused heavily on the pastoral care of his people. He inspired and helped to foster charitable work in areas of Rome affected heavily by famine, refugees, and poverty. To him, being a Christian was not only about embracing the fullness of the gospel theologically, but living it out in a world filled with hurt, suffering, and needs. Pope Leo I was renowned for his profoundly spiritual sermons. With his words, Leo could reach the everyday needs and interests of his people. It was his reputation as an instrument of the call to holiness, well-versed in scripture and ecclesiastical awareness, that helped him become one of the greatest popes in the history of the church. Leo died on November 10th, 461. He wished to be buried as close as possible to St. Peter's tomb. His body was first laid in the entrance of St. Peter's Basilica, but was later moved inside the basilica in 688. His feast day is celebrated on the 10th of November. St. Leo the Great, pray for us.
Welcome back, Saints. This is Catholic Faith Forum, and you just heard of the life of St. Leo the Great, all thanks to Evelyn here. Okay, so back to our conversation. We're talking red flags, and before the break, we mentioned some red flags. So I was thinking, what about the let's bring it down to faith now. Let's say, would you call this situation a red flag? There are some people that before they get married, they're okay. Let's say two husband and wife to be. Mm-hmm. One is Catholic, the other one is non-Catholic, and then they say, "Don't worry, let's get married. I'll allow you attend your church." Do you think that is a looming or a growing red flag in a relationship?
I think it's a looming red flag. It will not work.
Playing that advocate right now, I would say that it can work in some cases. Now, very importantly, this is a very, very controversial case. Yeah. Because when it comes to your Catholic faith, normally we know that, okay, getting married to someone who is not Catholic, your children have to be baptized, have to be in the church and all of that. Yes. But then, with that in your mind, before getting married, you and your husband should, you and your husband should have talked about it, had a communication, and there should be that understanding. If your partner is flipping when you have entered the union, it's a whole new different story entirely. But then I'm saying that it could still work for some families. I've seen families that it has worked. If it's a case of the man is Catholic, the woman is not Catholic, and sometimes she could become Catholic, or sometimes she might still take the children to where she's going to. But then talking about the other side now, the woman is Catholic. Can she bring the children to the church? Yes, most definitely. They can try to make it work. They can make it work.
I think it's if you have an understanding partner.
Yes, understanding is very important.
To actually understand for the rest of their life. Because it's one thing to think that you yourself, you are understanding. And you say, okay, let's get married, I'll allow you go to your own church. And then eventually, midway in the marriage, you now see that.
Yes.
Okay. So you will not come to my church today.
So people see marriage as like eye-opener. So because what you both agreed on before the marriage, after marriage is like, am I not the man of the house? Okay, so I would say that sometimes these decisions are not even left just for the parents to make. Because at the end of the day, you could be all super into one certain section of religion, and your children later in life will decide to quit that religion and go to a certain...
That's for the children.
But then children.
We've heard of cases where, there's that agreement before marriage, and then you enter marriage, and then...
Let's think about it this way. Let's think about it this way. You have a Catholic father, a Catholic mother. There's an agreement. They come together. They know that this is the faith we believe in. So by the time they have children, what are they going to be passing on? What they believe. In fact, this faith of a thing is not just I come to the realization. Sometimes faith has to be taught. So when the belief you form, like by the time you become like an adult, and so sometimes it comes from just the foundation. What did your parents lay? Yeah.
Well, that's another, is a whole conversation entirely. So back to red flags. I'm still talking red flags. What other kind of red flags do you think exist? For me, I know of over-dependency. There are certain people who don't have lives outside their relationships. Nothing else makes them happy. It is just they're over obsessed with their relationships. Let me put it that way. And you might think that, oh, I just love the person now and all of that, but it's actually a bad thing, because that's where jealousy starts coming in. That's where anger issues will start coming, because all your mind is focused on this one person, and when that person does any slight thing, it becomes an issue.
And then insecurities will also have way.
That also brings me to the point of, lack of communication. When you realize that someone is very hard for the person to communicate with you, when things are going bad, when things are, anything is happening, you can. Sometimes it helps to actually try to compromise, let the person have their space, but also let the person know that I want you to speak to me when you are going through stuff or when you need someone to talk to.
There's some people that
speak
don't
to
know how
me.
to communicate.
They don't know how to because of where they are coming from.
Yes,
I've met
they
people.
probably have had they've had maybe issues in the past that were not fully resolved when they communicated.
That's true.
So they've gone back into their shell. Whatever it is that is going on with them, they just feel like I can handle it on my own.
I don't need anybody.
Communicate. But I think that's a very big issue in a relationship. I cannot be your partner and then you cannot tell me what's going on with you. That's where you hear, this person's partner committed suicide, and the man is like, but he was fine this morning now. That kind of thing. I just feel like generally, if you haven't healed from any of your past, heartbreaks or anything, don't enter into a relationship with anybody. You are really not ready. Go and sort out your own first, because you cannot be hurting and then you now want to try to
I have looking for happiness in a relationship.
I have a question now.
Okay, before you ask your question, it's time for us to head over to our KYF crew for the Know Your Faith session. Over to you.
Welcome to another episode of Know Your Faith series, and it's your bestie, Elepachi. Today, we'll explore the beautiful and symbolic acts performed by priests before wearing their stole, the kiss. The gesture of kissing the stole is deeply rooted in tradition and carries profound spiritual symbolism. When a priest kisses the stole, it is an expression of reverence and a reminder of the sacred authority bestowed upon them through their ordination. This practice dates back centuries. In medieval times, the stole was often a gift from the bishop during ordination. Kissing the stole was a sign of loyalty to the bishop and a recognition of the authority passed down through the apostolic succession. The stole is a visible symbol of priest authority and role as a mediator between God and the people. It signifies the priest's participation in the priesthood of Christ. Now, when the priest kisses the stole, it's an acknowledgement of the sacred responsibilities that comes with it. The kiss serves as a ritual of consecration. By kissing the stole, the priest is expressing devotion to the sacred duties entrusted to them. More importantly, it's a moment of prayerful reflection, asking for God's guidance and grace as they prepare to lead the congregation in worship. That's it on this episode. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, be bold, be Catholic.
Thank you very much, Elepachi, for that session. Okay, so Marianna, you wanted to ask a question.
Yes, you spoke about, if you've been hurt from a certain relationship and all of that, and probably you haven't gotten closure, not jumping into another one. But do you think two broken people or two people who have experienced, some kind of very harsh relationship just a few months ago, let's say 2 months ago, now meet, come together, do you think they can work? Or do you think it's just be a total disaster?
Well, it's not about time for me. It's not about how long ago your heartbreak was. It's about, have you moved on? And I think that a partner should be able to tell if their partner has moved on from the hurt of their last relationship. Because trust me, it shows when you can't trust your partner, when you start attributing certain things that they do and saying that's how you people are now, that's how men are. It's like, that's how women are.
Yeah.
So that you must heal. I don't know, but there's no stipulated time. For some people they heal in 1 week, some people heal in 1 month, some people heal in 2 years, 5 years, It depends on, the level of the hurt and how strong you yourself are to move on from that hurt. So I won't tell you whether 2 months is enough.
Yeah.
But I just.
So how do you know when your partner has healed enough? Because they could literally lie to you, though.
You will see it all over. The person will ooze of positive vibes.
True.
So
Okay.
That's
right.
it for me.
I think I'd like to ask you for a clarification that broken people, is it that do you mean they are still hurting or they have moved on but they are broken?
Like when I say broken people, I just mean people who probably have been in a relationship that was traumatic.
Okay.
Maybe someone who had been in a relationship whereby the person was maybe violently abused, or someone who was emotionally abused, or probably someone whose self-esteem was drawn to the lowest due to the relationship they just left. So this kind of people coming together, like one person on the other side, this person on this side, having these qualities of their past relationship now coming together. That's what I mean by two people that have,
I can't really say because I would, if I say that it would not work, maybe because they both need to heal first. And if I say they will work, I don't know. It's just.
I feel like they will have clashes. They should just heal first.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but what about healing together? You know, let's try to heal together.
Yeah, they can heal together before they actually.
So will you say let's target a relationship, or we should just be friends?
You can start from being friends and seeing how it
Try
goes.
to heal together.
Yes.
Okay,
I don't
let's.
even think that relationships are things that people should rush into. I mean, you just met this person, get to know the person, you know, before.
Yeah,
you
that
now
will happen
make
in the
things,
process.
you
Yeah.
know, so that's
About that point, that guys
so-
who will be hyping you like Odogu woman, those people, they will not give you shishi in the relationship. There are people that will assume that this woman is independent of herself. They will never make efforts to fend. Oh my God.
official.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about the different types of red flags that we can remember at
I've
this
not mentioned
point.
one. No. I've not
What's
mentioned one. This one might be weird, but red flags where a partner is calling or hyping the other person. Have you met friends or people that be like, Odogu, you have money? Now you now. But they cannot. I don't know how to say it. See, you run away from people that are stingy. That's a red flag for me. I don't know, but
You took
people
us
that,
Honestly, I brought us back.
like, I just have to, I don't know how to even bring it to you,
I
but
think, stinginess in a relationship, I think, I don't know whether to say it's a red flag or a yellow flag.
I don't know.
It depends on if the person maybe can change, is willing to change, you get. But, stinginess in a relationship is not good. Selfishness is not good. Now, what advice would you give to people out there who are in relationships and are seeing maybe one or two of these red flags that we have pointed out? Because the whole essence of this episode is for people to be able to identify that thing that you think is just a minor thing, it's actually a problem for you, and then this is how you can go about it.
Okay, I would say first, shine your eyes. Open it very well. Open your eyes very well, because you necessarily have to, you know, watch out for these signs. Now, when you begin to see signs like this, first of all, start with communication. Make sure you let this person know that, okay, this thing you're doing, I'm not comfortable with it. Know where the person stands with that attitude. You get. If the person, maybe after a few months of trial, the person says, okay, I will change, and you're seeing some efforts, you're seeing an effort in this changing process, then fine, you can decide to compromise and still be patient as you're trying to groom this person into the new person you want the person to become. I've used person a lot of times already. But then, if you see that there is no effort at all, my sister, my brother, leave before you leave in a body bag.
wow.
Yeah.
What did I say to such an individual? There's something I like about speaking to people, speaking to very close friends. There's a way it helps you to validate how you are feeling. If maybe you have noticed something in your partner and it doesn't sit right with you, if you just want a confirmation, you can ask somebody who is not in the relationship to see that situation for you. And they might be able to guide you to judge it better. So if you have a confirmation that, yes, this is valid, like I'm not misinterpreting the person's behavior or actions, you know, then she made mention of communication. Communication is important. You talk to the person, try to address it. And then there are some people that you have to observe them, that how do they take correction? Yeah. I learned from a friend that it's very important that when you're trying to address things to people that you love, people that you put in like a high esteem, you know, there's a way you have to assess how do they take correction. Because there are some people that when you're trying to bring it to them that, see, this is what you're doing and I don't like, they will just, you know, they'll change it. And so I think it's really important that speak to someone, validate how you're feeling, and, you know. address it.
Well, so I'm just going to wrap it up by saying that, first of all, you need to be honest with yourself. You need to tell yourself that this thing is not good for you. You're not feeling good in this relationship. What this person is doing to you is not something that sits well with you. And then try as much as possible, like Marianna has said, to communicate that with the person. Now, sometimes you might need professional help, actually, because it's not everything that you are able to communicate or even process on your own. So it's okay to seek professional help. There are relationship counselors or marriage counselors out there that you can talk to. And like Evelyn also said, involve your friends and family, because they actually give you clarity whether you like it or not. There's a lot of clarity that comes from speaking to other people. And then I'll just like to wrap it up by saying, try as much as possible to communicate in an emotionally mature way to your partner. There's a way that you put something across to a person that will make them listen to you, and there's a way that you put something across to them that would make them, overly
dramatic.
And, they just take it.
They react
overboard.
negatively.
So whatever it is that you're doing in analyzing whether something is a red flag or a yellow flag, ensure that when you have understood that this thing is a red flag and this person is not going to change, use the door. You leave before you are carried in a body bag.
and they shouldn't feel like they will never get a better relationship.
Yes,
definitely get
better.
If people can fall in love with those who are blind or those who are like handicapped, then how much more you that are
people actually
complete?
stay in toxic relationships because they feel like they cannot get better outside. But I believe that there is better outside. So choose yourself first in all that you do, and I really wish you good luck in your relationship. So that's our show for today. Thank you so much, ladies, for contributing to this topic.
Welcome.
Yes, guys, if you have any comments, questions, drop them in the comment section of our YouTube channel at Dominican Media. And also do well to follow us on our social media platforms at CFF on TV. I am Marianne Ushi. Catch me on Instagram at _Marianne Ushi.
I'm Evelyn Marianna. Catch me on Instagram at @I am_Evelyn WTL.
I am Marianna Otam. Check me out on Instagram at @simply_Anna.
Okay, and until next time, keep being saints
In jeans and shirts.
Bye.